Hello people, and welcome back to part 44 of Palaven, our vanilla Cities Skylines build. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And thank you so much for the kind comments, suggestions and support in the last episode. You guys really enjoyed the outlying suburban build. It's nice to kind of finally have this view over to that nighttime skyline now, isn't it? Big fan of these kind of little houses up here with the fencing out in front and the pathways that kind of border onto the highway. Nice little part of town, I think, isn't it? And just the airports to do over here now, which will definitely happen before episode 50, but not in today's episode because I want to return over to the actual downtown itself because we have a lot of empty space here. That was originally planned out to be something of a European district. You can kind of see how we were planning to design some stuff here during a live stream, but I just don't think it's the right kind of space, the right atmosphere to squeeze a lot of the European assets in here. I'm thinking what we will do is almost build like a separate European downtown town centre that will sit over in this enormous kind of space that we've got over here. And then we can kind of look out to the traditional American skyline that we have over here, right? So a lot of the European stuff will take place over here. And in today's episode we're going to be working with some IT cluster stuff. We're going to develop a little tram and metro transport hub. And I think we have to get a part life cheese in here as well, don't we? Just because of this. There are so many people using this little bridge to cross over the ring road. So we'll absolutely do that as well. And yeah, got some nice ideas planned today I think, so let's get started, shall we? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do here is just begin to introduce some kind of smaller roads in here to help us place another metro station. Let's get a little 90-degree road in. And then let's say if we come out from here. Yeah, that'll be okay. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves another underground metro. Now this right here, this is feeding into the ring, but I think we're going to take it away and actually switch the ring metro onto this stop over here. And then what we'll do with this second stop is feed this over towards the university and eventually complete a loop that will run into the hillside suburb. Let's just bring this over here for right now. And then complete a loop through the commercial town centre and outer line suburb as well. There we go. So we will obviously eventually have this running off in that direction. And then we also have a metro line here that runs. Need to come back and delete a little bit of this so we can just sneak under. I think we do. Let's come down a step. There we go. And then we'll come up. Yep, that's the right height. And then we need to find a place within. How about right outside the school here? Let's take away one of these car parks. There we go. Throw in an underground metro. That shouldn't look too bad. Yeah, I think that's okay. I think that'll be quite nice. And then we can now have this metro line that run into here. And then this will eventually feed into the airports, which will sit over there at some point as well. We've got a little bit of death over here. Maybe we do make a little crematorium park overway at this point. Okay, so I've also just realised that we don't have an alternating route running the other direction on the ring metro. So we'll go ahead and get that set up and then drag this metro line into the commercial town centre and then we'll see how we're starting to look. Okay, so we've got our metro station tucked in. Let's now introduce a little bit of a tram network. So over here, this road was originally a cycle highway. However, we're now going to bring the trams down that feed into the Green Cities district, which is over by this little mini transport hub. This is super busy now as well. Fantastic to see. So we'll have our trams feed down the main road. And then into this little mini transport hub that's going to develop over here. A little tram road here. It's going to be nice and symmetrical between the two metro stations. And then I think we'll come through the little tram roundabout where it can turn around. So let's come off the road guideline here. Let's see if we come out by 2 markers each time. Got some nice little decoration opportunities in here as well for the trams to turn around. Very nice. And then we'll feed in with a slight curve here. How are we feeling about how much space that's taking up? I think maybe actually we'll take it out this side. Let's bring it straight first of all, so it stays parallel with this road. And then we'll grab our freeform and have a little bit of a curve here, just so everything's not super kind of straight and gnarly. And then we don't want this connection on this arterial. Okay. This roundabout is kind of starting to threaten to choke a little bit. Especially since now we've got these roads hooked into the highway over here. There's a lot of people coming off, so we might have to upgrade this into something a little more serious. Maybe have a bridge that kind of flows over one. Takes the pressure off the roundabout roads. We'll kind of see how it goes throughout the episode. But it probably will need to be upgraded at some point. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab those trams so they can feed down this way. Let's it's this little black line right here, okay? So we'll have a stop outside the pyramid of safety. And that's going to feed there. And let's see, let's have 2 stops right there. Just adjacent to each other. And get that nice little symmetrical stop there as well. Have another line there. Yeah, and that'll be fine. Let's wait for some of these trams to kind of come through into this part of town now. You are not in the Green Cities district. You should not be here. You are not. That's just not too bad. I think we'll leave it in. Really growing up this area of town now. Let's see how people are deciding to move around here. Yeah, there's a few people waiting for it right here. I think I'm happy with that. Cool. And then we do have some space between them, of course, to come through with some park life designs. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves some park paths. Let's grab it up to the point where the metro stop is, about there. Yeah, okay. We'll leave ourselves a couple of little tiles to do some detailing in, of course. That'll flesh out, and we'll probably do want to run the paths parallel with the line. We probably will. Yeah, okay, that's going to be nice. Grab ourselves some zoo fencing. Zoo fences do work really nicely with the tram stop, so let's actually come through this side. And then over here as well. Kind of up to each point where it connects. It's a little natural barrier for the tram. Okay. It's going to be really nice. See people using the metro stops here. Let's go ahead and check on the others, see if they're getting any use. A couple of people at the university now picking up this metro as a potential option. It's also going to be really good because people from arriving via Dawson from this metro line here now have a direct route into the downtown transport hub areas as well via this metro, alongside the monorail as well. And then how about the one over by the high school too? Yeah, plenty of people deciding to use that as an option now. And this is going to feed them straight into the actual kind of main Nibble Hill transport centre. Yeah, very nice. All that public transport's starting to converge now, I think, isn't it? Very cool. Very cool. Okay, it's already super busy, isn't it? So I think the fact that this bridge is getting so much use, we can't really refuse the opportunity to park life cheese here. Yeah, this is like too busy. We're going to have to cheese this just to see how much money we can make out of it. So let's go and paint ourselves a park area. And I guess we'll kind of include all of this stuff here as well. That will allow us to place some park assets to help decorate this area. Let's bring all these through. And then over the bridge and down here. If anybody, of course, wants to name the little park, that's going to sit within kind of the wider IT cluster park build today. Do feel free to throw it down in the comments. Okay, so take away all the current path network, and then let's go ahead and start placing in some of our park main gates. So we'll have one here. Might be 2 tiles away from the tram road there, so let's keep it symmetrical on this side as well. Fantastic. And I think we're running with the university paths here, right? This is the elevated one, like the copper and teal trim. I think I like that. And of course, remembering, if we are going to park live trees, we have to come out on the ground a little bit first. We can't just immediately elevate, otherwise they will just glitch out onto the street and won't pay the fee. So how about we come up here? It's not too steep, right? No, that's fine. And then we'll take out this conifer in the middle. Come across here. Can we cross the metro at this height? I wonder. Yes, we can. Wonderful. There's a slight slope there, but I think we can live with it. Okay, and then we'll drop the next post there. And then I think we'll bring them down on some nice kind of curved ramps like this. I think we also might end up bringing this little skywalk out and over the road. And then kind of have some skyscrapers right up alongside it. I guess we'll see. I'm quite keen on having that walkway over the road here. I like the aesthetic. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see how the build develops, right? There's always time. And then I think just some introductory commercial outside the little transport hub here. A couple of little 4x3s in. And then let's go to our grid. And then we can have some pathways that are going to appear here as well. I think we'll keep these little 4x3 patterns repeating. We've got the zoning for it, so we might as well. There we go. So lots of people deciding to come up and over the little bridge here. Get some nice decoration outside of this too. Oh no. There's the complimentary fire. We haven't had one for a while. Let's also go ahead and get rid of these traffic lights. Let's give priority for the arterial. Allow them to flow through. Is there any more down here? Yes, there is. Literally every single junction. Go away. Just flow through. There we go. A few people are picking up the trams here now as well. Okay, and then we'll have a look at some... maybe some high density commercial here actually. Let's try and switch a little bit of this out for some high density commercial. See what we think. Not a huge lover of the high density commercial assets as it stands. But we'll kind of see what comes in. I guess it'd be nice to have the height up alongside the path here as well. Look at the people here, man. This is crazy. How much so far? Let's whack that ticket price up. Let's get some money coming in from this park, shall we? Lots of people switching between the different methods of public transport here now too. 119 there, 53, 72. How's this tram line doing? Does it need any more? Nah, it's okay. It's got the capacity yet, I think. It's the octopus. Why does it have to have that bright pink octopus on the front of it? It really takes away. Okay, we'll leave it in for right now. I think we'll do kind of a mix and match, right? We'll maybe switch out some of the awful low density ones to some high density zoning. See what we think. A little bit of mix and match zoning. I guess we'll see. So we'll go ahead and start painting out our IT cluster district. And really, we're going to be using kind of Plop the Growables here to place some of the higher assets in. And kind of customize what we want to do with this area. Okay, and yeah, over here as well a little bit, I guess. Okay, and then IT cluster specialization. If you are new to the game, this comes with the Green Cities DLC. So we do have a couple of IT cluster assets already lingering in the downtown. This is one right here. A couple of the taller ones over here as well. I'm pretty sure this is one of them. These around here too. Kind of mooching about in the city centre. So again, we want to be kind of generating that skyline, right? Making sure to check it from all different angles. We'll kind of see what's going to develop here. What do we think of you? Again, it's all that. It's all that bright pink neon. Well, it's fine. We'll leave it in for right now. Especially while we're in the downtown, I think, right? Okay. Yeah, this is up to 3,000 already. Crazy times. Crazy times. Okay, let's carry on decorating our park out here. Let's come for our angle on the path. And then we'll give a nice little fence border up alongside tram road. And then we'll come through with our freeform. And then just hug it as far as we can. And get right up to the corner there. Switch to our straight tool and hook it in. And then the same alongside the main road here as well. And come to where the grids begin to bend away. And then we'll come back here. Let's bring this one out and hook it in. It's a nice little park. Again, from all angles it's important that we check, right? You have grown up already, haven't you? Is this slow density? Yes it is. And that's fine, no worries. And you? He's about to upgrade, so we'll kind of see what's going to come in here. And in the meantime, we can start to discuss some little kind of decoration patterns for our little transport hub here. Maybe let's throw in a couple of restrooms either side, almost as a ticket office if you will. We can actually have these facing the pathways because they're so close to the road, so they will still count as connected. A couple of little symmetrical ticket offices. I think I'm happy with that. Just double check on our commercial building here. No, the gas station doesn't really suit, does it? Okay, let's take it away. Let's just go for high density commercial. We'll kind of see how it looks, how it turns out. I guess we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Okay, so trams begin to develop around here now too. I think maybe some... How about a tiny little green cities district? Because I think with the 2x2 or 2x1 commercial zonings, I think if we throw in a little local and organic produce specialisation, we can almost use these assets as decoration rather than kind of actually trying to fulfil that commercial demand, right? Let's bring some more zoning tiles out this way, fill it out here as well. Okay, then we'll just start to see. Super busy little area of town already, right? Super busy. Nice little combination of transport assets as well. Underground and overground metro with trams. Seems to be performing nicely. I wonder where all these people are headed over this side of the road. Where are they going? It's kind of heading off into the Art Deco suburb. Got a lot of detailing to do around here. We desperately need a live stream, right? A little bit of car parks. So we could go with repeated car parks by as well. We've got the 2x2 opportunities. I feel we've had a lot of that recently, so maybe time to leave it alone. This is what I'm talking about. These little, almost little markets, you know, little stalls, cafes, etc. I think just to have them backing up against the paths and the little transport hubs like this, I think they're quite nice. And would you look at this? When we want the car parks, they start spawning in. No, okay, yeah, let's get rid of the car parks. We want the stores here, really. Things that you never thought you would hear. And then how about some flower bed designs? Just to sit in these kind of awkward spaces here. Maybe kind of 1, 2 and 3. Especially with the alternating pattern as well. Okay, nice little transport hub to start off the build today. I have a mini one, got the monorail flowing past here as well. Up to 94, 26 and 67. So you notice that everyone is arriving at this point, is taking the public transport, no one's driving. Which is what we want to see really. So we're going to start to place in some of these high-tech assets today. And again, we're after a very distinct style. More smalls after as well, kind of as they emerge out of the public transport here, right? They get a view to this very impressive kind of high-tech office park. And that's what we'll do with all the little zoning opportunities that we've got in here today as well. So we'll take away this road network now. And then very similar to what we did over in this little office park right here. It's kind of little smaller internal road networks alongside the arterials to help place some of these office assets. And then we'll see just kind of what we get developing, right? So we want to come to grid and road length here. And then we'll start to develop some shapes. So how about if we come for some road against road action here? Let's come down by 300. That's going to save us some nice 4x4 tiles, and then we'll come out by 350. Either side, fantastic. I'm a real big fan of doing this with the office parks. Kind of giving them their own little internal road networks against the rest of the city. I think it works nicer than having them on the arterials. Now how about we repeat this pattern here as well? So if we just come out, what's the distance here? 500. So from this point right here, we'll come down again by 300. And then up by 350. Either side. I think this will help decorate the arterial as well. Okay. So again, we're very keen on that vibe, right? It's looking very impressive. I hope. I hope. Okay, let's start to play with some different zoning shapes and we'll kind of see. I think we'll definitely have some kind of repeated patterns here. But yeah, this kind of view from the highway, right? This is absolutely what we're after today. Now, how are we feeling? There's almost kind of World Trade Center vibes about these two assets, isn't there? These are some of the taller assets that come with the IT cluster pack. Is this the same one that's over in the downtown? This one right here? Yeah, it is, isn't it? This is the same asset here. Or is it? I can't really tell. With a helicopter pad on the top? Same one, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay. Oh, that's so annoying that that road isn't centralised with it. We could shift it over because it's only connected into the monorail here. There's nothing attached to that. If we really wanted to, but everything is symmetrical, right? It's a very an immediate burst of height, isn't it? I think we always need to move these over to this side and then start to crawl down with some of these other assets. These are 4x4s, I think, aren't they? Yeah, they are. 4x4 IT cluster zoning to get these taller ones in. But it's not too bad, I don't think. It's not too bad. Okay, so we can place these in so they're almost like mirroring each other either side, which I think is quite nice. Again, kind of up against the highway here. Very kind of strong Chicago vibes of this, I think. This is not very Pittsburgh at all, but it's nice to do something different, I think, isn't it? Okay. I think I'm happy with them. Let's have a look at a little bit of repeated office spice, maybe. Now, we do have some 1x3 assets here that would make a really nice repeated pattern. I think on their own they're almost a little too narrow, but if we were to place these in kind of 4 at a time, how do we feel about that? Yeah, it almost makes it look as though it's like a full asset there, right? Like a 4x3 asset when we draw them in side by side. Little 1x3 zonings. Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of them. That's some nice IT cluster repeated pattern there. Inspiration for Spice of the Month for anyone that is taking part. There you go. That's my contribution. There's almost some kind of smaller versions here as well. Let's maybe try a little 4 repeated pattern here as well. Yeah, I see those layers of height building now from this little transport hub. I think it'd be rude not to take a little nighttime spice look here, wouldn't it? Ah, yeah, there it is. There it is. These assets are very nice at nighttime. That kind of little blue glow that they've got on the front there. Huge fan of that. Again, they're all looking nice from the back as well. Which is always a bonus thing, isn't it, if something's good looking from behind. So I think we'll now begin to work with some of the taller assets. Maybe let's take this one out now and then have in a couple of these skyscrapers. The little, which ones are these? These are the 3x4s. Now I think maybe if we draw out another road here and then come back in and place those assets. We can just start to See how this will look. I think, do we want them at the same angle though? It looks a little weird when they're like this, doesn't it? Maybe let's try and shift it. Save a little bit of space for some path designs that are going to pass under the highway through the middle here. Yeah, I think that looks a little nice with this almost like little protrusion on the back facing the highways, right? Oh yes, there's a monorail as well. It's coming together, isn't it? It's coming together. Let's have a look at those pathway designs that are going to flow through this little office park here. We'll come off our grid. Can we clear the highways? Yes we can. That's wonderful news. We could actually feed this into the park behind the academic library, which I think we will do. Let's bring the park up to here first of all, or the path rather. Now we do have like a little squiggling pattern here, but I don't think I like this anymore. I think it works nice with the green city stuff, but I'm much more a fan of these rigid paths. Bring some water up to these guys so they don't abandon. And then if we come into our grid, we can almost just feed a nice little centralised path design between the highways, which I think is what we're going to do. Let's clear out this old stuff. I think we will do something at some point with that little squiggly path design, but I think just for the satisfaction of the symmetry between the highways, this isn't the right place to do it in. I guess we can feed it into this crossing point here now as well, right? It makes sense to carry it on down this way. Okay, nice little smooth path between the highway here. We could even come back and elevate this. That would look quite nice. So many different choices, isn't there? Some modern art in the highway here with the street lamp coming through, but I think we can live with it. Okay, so we could actually begin to repeat this pattern behind these ones. We can't with these, but with the 1x2s we can do, so I think we will actually do that. Let's go ahead and grab some more of those little 1x2 offices, and we'll place them in behind as well. Get all perfectly replicable. If you are looking to do this without Plop the Growables, of course, you need to come in with your office zoning, and then you'll just repeat the pattern in this fashion until they spawn in. And then once these ones all spawn in, you can then just fill in the rest, and then you'll have the same pattern as is starting to appear here. Okay, so I definitely want some kind of open parkland in amongst all this stuff as well. So I think we'll come off our road guideline again here with the road network. And then I guess it makes sense to put that one in, right? Okay, so we'll now start thinking about decorating up alongside the monorail. Let's kind of wait for one to come past here and see how we're beginning to look. There we go. Okay. And how are we feeling about kind of this transition here? I think what we'll do here, where we have a lot of this open space where it's going to be difficult to get zoning in, we'll come through with our park paths without decorations and no snapping and freeform, and then just help fill them out with some little pathways that link into various sections, and then come through with a little bit of the old kind of faithful tree palette here. A couple of Palaven pines in alongside all this area too. Probably got some part fencing in here too, I imagine. Almost as kind of a barrier for the office park itself. You know, I think those trees kind of shows you how tall this part of town is up against those Palaven pines, right? They look really small against that backdrop. That's kind of first little block of IT cluster assets. I don't think I'm hating that. I think what we'll do with this road is almost to kind of give it like it is a little bit of an entranceway, is let's come through and do some decoration here. Upgrade the road essentially with some treed roads. And we'll come in and grab a park fence and snap to the grid. And then introduce some little park barriers here. And we can even come through and do some smaller repeated bush spice up alongside the edge of these fences on the inside of them. Nothing too fancy, no, but it does give a little more importance to this road. That feeds into where all these IT cluster buildings are actually sat. And we can kind of have that vibe about it, right? Okay. Starting to develop, I think, isn't it? I think it certainly is. We need to kind of have a little discussion about the cycle network here. So let's take this away because the cycle paths on the ground look a little bit horrible. I'm not a huge lover of them. And then if we come out onto the grid from these ones, we can just easily descend. Oh, we could take them across the ring road. That would be more elevated transport spice, wouldn't it? Which is something that we're all a fan of at this point in Palaven. Let's kind of test it out. Just come up here as well. Realise it's not a perfectly straight road, but we can feed them down into here, and then they can join this cycle network as well. Would also mean that we can maybe upgrade this road here into an industrial one, which will give it a slightly different vibe. How do we feel about this? Let's have a little play with some designs here, shall we? I think this road right here, does this suit being industrial? Because the industrial bridges do look a lot different. And then we can feed the cycle highway elevated either side. That's a difficult one, isn't it? This bridge. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, I think we'll do that. We'll run with the industrial road as the bridge. And then we'll run the cycle highways either side. Okay, so I think that's a little more impressive now, isn't it? We've kind of got these symmetrical cycle bridges either side, which will allow people to feed into Palaven's cycle network. Probably upgrade this road into cycle road as well. But I think I definitely prefer kind of that industrial looking bridge over everything else here. And I think maybe we'll kind of upgrade back into regular road how it was as we come back down to earth and just have the bridge as the industrial road maybe. Yeah, and there's some folks starting to pick up the cycle highway here now as well, which is always good news. And then they can also feed directly into this side here as well, which takes them off in various directions. And that will allow us to kind of upgrade this section here into grassy road. And then they can pick up the cycle highway on the road here. It's a little bit janky right now, but I think once it's decorated and kind of a little more integrated, we'll be happier with it. Okay, interesting to see how many people begin to pick that up now it's hooked in from kind of all sides. Someone on this side beginning to read it as an option over now. See where he's going to head. He's taking the long way around. Okay, no, he's heading over there as well. Very nice. I'm sure that will please the cycle highway people. You guys have kind of got like a big dedicated cycle interchange here now. No, we're going to be too... You know, we can't just about squeeze some rock assets in here. And then do we go for kind of a circular repeating conifer pattern within each quadrant? Kind of like, let's have a little look as to how this will appear if we did it like this. We'll see how we feel. And then we can maybe go one more each on this side because there's no bridges that lead over this way. How do we feel about that? It gives a little more importance to the roundabout, doesn't it? It's interesting that no one on this side, I mean I guess it makes sense because this is hooked into the path and is the faster way into that network for them. Maybe when we upgrade this into cycle road it'll pick up a little more on this side. And then we can hook in with our little highway path design. That's going to flow under the highway. And then also bring it around the back of the asset too. And then similar again behind these ones, just provide a little bit of a border up and against these assets right here. Let's come into the grid and then come behind them. A little bit like that. And how about a couple of fancier trees here? Maybe a couple of yews in the open spaces. I think we'll take this path away too. How about that? Maybe got some like repeated ring bush designs around the base of the yew as well. Maybe some part life assets in there, but fairly happy with that block of IT cluster buildings right there. Lots of repeated pattern designs in. And I think kind of as people are emerging out of the metro here, they're greeted with that view. That's what we want, right? Big fan of these ones right here. Big fan of these. We'll definitely have this repeated design in again. Somewhere else in this office park. So we've also got some space to use over this side. Now we do have a ring road slip here. And I think we're also going to amend this slightly. So it's kind of a dual exit, if you like. So come through and take away a little bit of the fencing. And then just slope out some of this terrain. Let's actually sever the connection here. And then we'll grab that industrial road. It's currently one way, so we'll upgrade it into two-way. Bring it down just a touch further. Let's go ahead and grab that highway road. Probably need to redraw this in now. There we go, that's a little smoother. And then we'll also come off all of our snapping right here. And then feed another little slip road down into the ring here. Okay, see some people begin to pick up that side of the ring road now as well. So let's now begin to work on kind of these spaces here. So this road network was initially planned out to be something of a European district, and while we won't quite go with some of the stronger American vibes here, I think we will certainly come in without our road guideline. And again, just developing some road against road spice so we can have some skyscrapers that are sat right here. And then maybe come into some more kind of transitional parkland over at this point as well. How about if we do squeeze in a small park here? We can get it if we take that road away. Also, let's move this fire station over to this side of the road. Okay. And then we can use this parkland here as a space to move into kind of what is going to be this side of the office park, right? Let's take away some of this design. And then come down here. Tie into these spaces. And also along here as well. Okay, how are we kind of looking from this side over here now? Yeah, I don't think it's too bad, is it? It's not too bad. Kind of further away in the small town maybe. Let's have a little look over here. Yeah, you can certainly kind of tell it's a distinctive skyline, right? Very nice. Okay. So I think again, huge fan of which ones was it? It was these, wasn't it? If we maybe come in with a repeated pattern here again. And how about if we repeated a smaller pattern next door? How are we feeling? Yeah, that's what I want to see, you know, kind of the elevated infrastructure up and alongside some of these larger assets here. And then we've got some space in for some 2x2 assets in here also. Which again I think will border the ring road quite nicely as well. We definitely need to segment off. Let's give them some water first of all. Just drag it in there for right now. kind of border off this part of the office park with... How about if we ran with an amusement park fence? Would that really stand out? I think it's got to be park fence, hasn't it? Yeah, it has to be. I decided. So we'll just kind of draw a really rough border. Let's actually terraform this a little bit first so we don't have that slope in there. Let's grab our level terrain and push this out up against the ring as high as we can. And then we can hook into there too. And I guess we can bring the path through there, right? I doubt it'll get much use, but there's an opportunity for it, so we might as well. Okay, so kind of looking for more angles. You can get some really nice designs with these smaller IT cluster stuff using them in a repeated pattern like this. Something I've never really done before, but I am a fan, I have to admit. So I think in order to continue our road against road design here, I'm just going to fracture a couple of these path connections. Maybe have one in right there. And then we'll save ourselves some larger 4x4 squares on kind of these corners. There is a 1x1 asset within the IT cluster stuff. A 1x4 asset. How do we feel about that? Red ladder media. Look nice with the path design it, and it's a descent in height as well from the other assets that we're using here. And again, how about we go for this one with the glass backing, right? Do have another potentially repeatable asset here. How do these look together? You can kind of tell that they're separate assets with these ones, can't you? But these ones are okay because they're very flush with each other where they join, but you can tell this is very modular, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't. Maybe not 4, maybe that's too many. Maybe let's take a couple out. Something like that. I think that kind of transitions nicely into what we've got over here as well with some of the high-tech medical stuff. Yeah, I like that. It's like a small little collective skyline, right? I think maybe let's throw in some low density commercial in here. Maybe a little 4x3 pattern, and then bring our pathway either side. Again, I'm not really bothered about having kind of zoning everywhere, you know. I do want some of that repeatable, almost like internal office park green belt, right? Is the angle or the kind of the point I'm trying to generate here. Maybe let's come in with a pathway here. Let's maybe go for the grid for this one. We can connect onto the road, which will be nice. Okay, I think I do like that actually. That's not too bad. Nice little collection of IT cluster stuff. I think, you know, rather than just mass zoning, being very selective with what assets come in. I understand I'm using Plop the Growables, so it is easier, but all perfectly replicatable, if that's the word. Without Plop the Growables, you just have to be careful with your zoning. You can kind of see the difference it makes, right? A real big fan of it from this view over here. This is a nice little, let's get a little nighttime look at this part of the park, shall we? Especially with the trees out front and, you know, just that road against road action makes a huge difference. This is looking nice now as well, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay. And I think again with this design here, we'll just fill out with some more green belt. And likewise with these spaces over here as well. I actually wonder, do we have the capacity for the road network here to bring some almost monorail against road action? It could be a little tricky, but we'll try it. So we've got some 3 deep opportunities here. Maybe let's come through with a fancier road through the transport hub. Yeah, we'll stick with the grass. Maybe trees on this bit. We'll change it up. Keep it different, you know. And then maybe let's have a look at some of the we could bring this in again, but it would literally be appearing everywhere if we did that. Maybe something smaller. How about these ones? Have we used these yet? These are the ones over here? Yeah, these are these ones, aren't they? How about some smaller ones? A little bit of repeatable design like this. Let's take this one out and then drop it in behind. So just 1 by 1 assets right here. Run them in a pattern of 4, and how are we feeling? Yeah, I don't mind them. How far can we keep this pattern going? Only up to there, but I think that'll be okay. And then what that will allow us to do is come through again with some of our transitional green belt. Straight through the middle. And then we can get a nice little kind of curvature in here. And I guess we could hook through into the cycle network. Just so people have got a way through there. Okay, I guess we also didn't want to extend the walkway through the office part, right? But I think it's better that way. Yeah, okay. Okay. I think what I want to do also is bring this little green city zoning down. Let's come back to our daytime here, shall we? And then just draw in some lighter commercial assets to decorate up alongside the ring metro. Let's go ahead and grab all these 2x2s and flesh it out with green cities commercial. Does look quite nice, especially with the metro line behind it. Got another car park in here. Go away. It's these smaller ones that we're after, I think, isn't it? Okay, but there we go. How are we looking over from this side as well? Not bad. Some people walk into the new offices now. Nah. Some people enjoying the new parkland over here too. Oh no. That is not what we want. Maybe let's take away that option and throw in maybe like a park cafe. Let's have a look how we're feeling about. Look at this, man. When you don't want car parks to come in, it's literally all that spawns. Go away. Give me something else. Yeah, it's these ones here. These little markets. Eco Mart. That's what we're after. I think they border up quite nicely against the monorail here. Maybe not the markets this side though. I think we have to stick to solid buildings. Yeah, these ones. Yeah, they'll be okay, I think. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. There was kind of a general bulk layout. Probably might switch a couple of these high density commercial assets out. I'm just not a huge lover of them. The pink neon really takes away from that modern office vibe, right? Doesn't fit here, I don't think. Okay guys, but that does feel like a good place to jump into a detailed time lapse. We're going to come through and flesh out all these empty green spaces with some of our transitional green belt to help people enter the office park. Decorate our tram roundabout with some of the usual spice. Possibly introduce some park assets into here as well. And decorate out with lots of trees. And I think what we might do is go for some very kind of dense repeated colour tree patterns here. Just so it's kind of got a really nice bird's eye view. Maybe kind of split it into quadrants, maybe like pink trees, purple trees and another colour. And then our usual little bits and pieces. Maybe bring a repeatable tree pattern alongside the front of the offices where the ring road is. Very much in the fashion that we've done with this side of the downtown. You know, where we've currently got all this going on. Kind of like that. But yeah. Also introduce a slipway for this side of the ring road as well. Otherwise, I'll speak to you all in a minute. Okay guys, that is going to do it for today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, a like below is always appreciated. Even as much if you haven't enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. I've also just realised that this is kind of the final major downtown build. We have filled out that initial downtown road network frame now, and this is it. Quite sad, a little bit emotional actually, about leaving the downtown behind. Just some kind of finer micro detail and bits to pick up, which we'll of course cover in the live stream. Just a quick note, I realise live streams have been away for about a month. I am just so crazy busy with real life at the minute that they just had to kind of take a little bit of a backseat. But I'm hoping to bring them back soon, and I really miss you guys in the live stream. So yeah, hopefully soon, if not this week, then the week after. Again, keeping Palaven's key themes of open green space, repeating patterns, lots of repeating pattern spice in today's episode as well. So inspiration for the spice of the month for those that are in the Discord. And yeah, it's a nice kind of still transitional climb into that main skyline, but we've also got some nice new pops of height in here as well, which should look great against the nighttime highway, I'm sure. And I think now we've finished the downtown, we'll get a nice shot from the nature reserve during the cinematics as well. But otherwise, I will shut up and I will leave it there. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.